Yes, there he is. Give it up for Corr, everybody.
Hey, right. So, got to do this quick this time. Just make sure I hear you. All right, I'll like point. Keep tooting it if I don't notice. So I was like 19, living in Carborough, Chapel Hill, where I grew up. I had my own place. I mean, not my own place. Like I was living in this double wide with my felon friend Randy and his wife, and so that was going really well at first. But I had gone to reform school not far from here, Lenore, North Carolina, and gotten kicked out of there, which is a trick. And I'd met this girl there who I'd gone to school with and everything, and had been friends with her, but never really noticed her in any other way. She wanted to come visit me. Okay, come on down. She shows up in amazing shape. God, she looked great. And we wound up hooking up, and it was like, yay! And then she's like, I'm gonna break up with my boyfriend. I'm like, okay, maybe you should. Because she told me all these bad stories about him and everything. Okay, I didn't know the guy, but I knew I was crossing him, right? Okay, so there's that. Well, we've got that out. And I'm thinking, maybe this means it's love. Didn't know at that young age that it really means don't move her in. This is gonna hurt you way more than it hurts him. So I moved her in, and she immediately started going to war with my trailer mates, which culminated in a battle of the women in the kitchen while Randy was at work in my car that I had just bought, my first car, and I'm the only one there, and I'm like, hey, consenting adults, one-on-one, let's just, see how this plays out. I'm betting on my girl. Ooh, oh. And she won by biting Elizabeth in the leg, who fled to the back of the house, called Randy. He raced back, squeezed into the driveway in my car, and I'm like, hey, man, the lady's really... And we got real redneck real fast. Turns out you can't live in a trailer anymore after two rednecks try to kill each other in it for about half an hour. We all had to move away. We moved into another friend of mine's house, and the pattern of war started to emerge. That's what my girlfriend did. And so that ended similarly. And then we needed to get our own place. So she was going to have to get a job too. Got her a job at the Intimate Bookstore. It's not a dirty bookstore. It was just cozy. We don't have a lot of time. I got to keep this rolling. I loved the Intimate Bookstore. It was beautiful. It was really the crowning jewel of Chapel Hill. It was the centerpiece of downtown. It was beautiful hand-carved wooden architecture towering over everything. All my happy memories of perusing and shoplifting books and nude photography manuals throughout my childhood were there. And so she loved the job. She made it 2 weeks, came home, hated the job, hated her boss. And but we didn't have time to talk about it because her friend Margaret was here from Shelby. Margaret's a stripper and very pretty. And we went to the University Mall to feed her right at A&W cafeteria. And a fire broke out in the mall. Really? And we didn't have to pay. I grew up hungry. So I was the last one to evacuate because I'm not leaving until I eat everybody's dinner. And we're driving away from the mall, and we drive through downtown, and there is a column of fire reaching as high into the sky like it was going to space. And we drive by, and the Intimate Bookstore is a column of fire. and Margaret is hanging out of the back seat window, flashing two firemen who were the only people who noticed when she was like, "Hey, boys!" And I turned to my girlfriend and said, "Honey, did you burn down the intimate bookstore?" And she said, "No." And stuff just kind of escalated from there, and there was nobody else to war with except me, and we went to war, and she started dating my childhood nemesis, and she ran me over with her car, but I survived, and the magistrate let her go, and then they came, and I had screwed up. Oh, I kicked her out of the house because my name was on the lease, but what I forgot was her name. I put my car in her name when I bought it in cash because I didn't have insurance yet. Long story, North Carolina DMV, hell with you. And so the magistrate, they stole my car, and I got baited into striking Quinn, and I got arrested, and I'm in the car, and she's smiling at me from outside the car, and I hear her address over the radio, and so I after I got out, I went directly there and found an open window and found the dog Zoe, who I hated, and was like, "Look, a little biscuit, Zoe, and there's a lot more in this duffel bag." And he jumped right in, and I climbed out the window, and I brought him way the hell out in the woods off trail and set him up a little camp. And I was sure that she would offer me my car back, but she never did. Because anyway, so I finally left a message on her answering machine going, and the detective called me in and was like, "Play the tape," and he's like, "Don't tell me that's not you." And I was like, "Okay." And so I gave the dog back. I didn't get caught for it. They couldn't prove anything. And we dropped the charges on each other, and I went and I poured 3 pounds of sand in her gas tank, which is really exciting, a lot better than sugar, because it just rips the engine apart, and you're like all over the parking lot. And she fled town, and I never saw her again. And but Quinn tried to call me on the phone and get me to admit it over the phone, and I said, "You're having problems? Perhaps if you hadn't stole my car, you wouldn't be having bad karma." Really said that.